We're back at the Toledo Zoo. On our last visit, we took a quick look at the zoo's primate forest, and today we're back for, you could say, part 2. Exiting out of the primate forest and moving past the avian breeding center, we come to the zoo's other primate-themed area, the Kingdom of the Apes. Sometimes known simply as Great Apes, this complex was a major overhaul of 1979's rare mammal building, which was already home to apes. It opened in 1993 as one of the final projects from the zoo's Renaissance era. Today it is home to 7 Bornean Orangutans and a troop of 6 Western Lowland Gorillas. There's 4 outdoor and 5 indoor exhibits for the apes, so all of the residents can be seen year-round. With the intro out of the way, let's get to touring. First up is the smallest outdoor habitat, where I saw Denda, the zoo's 19-year-old lone male orangutan. Denda is visiting from the Seneca Park Zoo in New York, while they construct a brand new orangutan habitat as part of their new Tropics complex, which is currently slated to be complete in 2025. Back in Toledo, here's another look at the exhibit from indoors. It's worth noting that this was home to the zoo's chimpanzees until the last one passed away around 2011. Directly across from it is a connected indoor habitat. You'll notice that the glass slants forward at the top, allowing the orangutans to potentially hang out directly above your head. Down the hall is a second, nearly identical indoor exhibit. This one is attached to the second outdoor habitat, where you'll usually find one of the orangutan families. It is more functional than natural in design, but does offer plenty of climbing opportunities for these arboreal apes. In here, I saw a 2-year-old Fajar. He is the youngest orangutan at the zoo, born on October 12, 2019 to first-time parents Bajik and Leela. Fajar's start at life wasn't exactly smooth, as his placenta did not detach properly, leading to him being hand-reared for 6 months. Eventually, he was reunited with his mother and made his public debut in the summer of 2020. Although I've never seen it used, this habitat does come with a very unique feature. Inside the enclosure is a button that the orangutans can press to potentially soak unsuspecting visitors. Around the corner is the final outdoor orangutan exhibit, very similar to the one we just saw. In here, I found the second orangutan family, which is composed of 32-year-old Boomer, who was born at the Toledo Zoo in 1989. He has fathered 4 offspring, including 2 with his current mate Yasmin, a 44-year-old female who transferred to the Toledo Zoo in 2013 as part of the orangutan species survival plan. Their 6-year-old son Wakil is, you could say, the zoo's resident teenager, and he was clearly having some fun messing with his dad. The Bornean orangutan is one of 3 recognized species of orangutan, all 3 of which are critically endangered, mostly due to deforestation from the palm oil industry. Although they are frequently seen on the ground in zoos, wild orangutans rarely leave the trees, making them the world's heaviest tree-dwelling animal. Moving inside, once again, there's another viewing window looking into the habitat, which is again connected to a smaller indoor exhibit. Next up is the indoor home for the zoo's gorilla troop, who we'll see more of in a little bit. The building then opens up from a hallway to a much larger room. In here you'll find a much bigger indoor habitat that again I believe used to belong to the chimps. This is where I saw Bajik, who was spending some alone time away from Leela and Fajar, which is not unusual, as in the wild, male orangutans typically do not take part in raising offspring. Also attached to this exhibit is the Aptitude Enrichment Station, where the orangutans can interact with keepers or special enrichment items like puzzles. Displays around the room include a pantry full of food that is not orangutan friendly. one comparing the hands of the different great apes, and a sign that shows the difference between the daily activity of an orangutan in captivity versus in the wild. After a short walk, we arrive at the Gorilla Meadow, where you can see the zoo's troop of 6 critically endangered Western Lowland Gorillas. The first one who sticks out right away is Quisha, the zoo's 34-year-old silverback who, despite his expression, is reportedly a gentle giant. There's 3 adult females, Johari, Kitani, and Sufi. And then there's the little guys. 4-year-old Mokanzi, who was born in 2017 to Quisha and Kitani. At the time of his birth, Mokanzi was the first gorilla born at the zoo in 14 years. But it didn't take long for another to follow when the troop welcomed Michael in August of 2020. Often when baby animals are born at zoos, it may take weeks or even a few months before they can be seen by the public. But this wasn't the case with Michael, as first-time mom Sufi did such a good job with him that they were allowed into the outdoor public habitat the very next day after he was born. The gorillas typically spend a lot of their time up at the glass windows, but if you don't see them from here, there is a second viewing point a little way up the hill. The Western Lowland Gorilla is the smallest species of gorilla, and the only one that you'll find in zoos. In the wild, they are threatened by deforestation and the bushmeat trade. And this is where our tour comes to an end. If you want to see more of the Toledo Zoo, you can watch my tour of the primate forest, or see hippo feeding time and the rest of the highlights from my visit earlier this spring.